Now let's come to scene 5. Uh, Scene 5, it also takes place in Venice before Shylock's house, right? Before Shylock's house in Venice. So enter Shylock the Jew and Launcelot, his man, that was the clown or fool, you can say. Okay, so Shylock, actually, Launcelot has come over there to invite him for the party, for that celebration that Bassanio is having. So Shylock says, well, thou shalt see, you will see, thy eyes shall be thy judge, your eyes will be your judge, the difference of old Shylock and Bassanio. So he is speaking to Launcelot, and meanwhile, while speaking to Launcelot, he is calling Jessica also. वो बात करते करते बीच बीच में Jessica को आवाज लगा रहा है, हाँ. So he says, first he says to Launcelot, you yourself will see, your eyes will be the judge, the difference of old Shylock and Bassanio. Then he calls Jessica. What? Jessica, thou shalt not gourmandize as thou hast done with me. You should not gourmandize. Gourmandize means overeat. You should not overeat as thou hast done with me, the way you used to do with me. Again, he calls Jessica. What? Jessica, and sleep and snore and rend April out. And rend April out means, April means clothes. Rend out means wear out. Don't wear out your clothes. उनको जल्दी से खराब मत करना, फाड़ना मत. And sleep and snore the way you used to do with me. And then he again calls Jessica. Jessica, I say. Now, when Shylock was calling her again and again, Launcelot also calls her. Why, Jessica? Shylock says, who bids the call? Who asked you to call her? I do not bid the call. मैंने तो नहीं कहा तुम्हें उसे बुलाने के लिए. Launcelot says, your worship was wont to tell me. Wont means accustomed, habitual. Okay, accustomed or habitual. आप हमेशा मुझसे कहते थे, I could do nothing without bidding. Bidding means asking, कि मैं बिना कहे कोई काम नहीं करता हूँ. इसलिए मैंने आपके बिना कहे ही उसको बुला लिया. Now, as soon as Lancelot calls her, Jessica comes over there. Jessica says, call you? What is your will? Have you called me? What do you want? He asks her father. Shylock says, I am bid forth to supper. I am bid forth means invited to supper. Supper is the dinner. I am invited to supper. Jessica, there are my keys. Take, these are my keys. Now, again, there is a long dash, which means that there is a pause. But wherefore should I go? But why should I go? I am not bid for love. I am not invited out of love. They flatter me. But yet I'll go in hate to feed upon the prodigal Christian. But still I'll go in hate to feed upon the prodigal Christian. Prodigal again means spendthrift, extravagant. हाँ, जरूरत से ज्यादा पैसा खर्च करने वाला. तो वो कहता है कि they have not invited me out of love, they just flatter me, and for that they have invited me, but I'll go, though I hate them, but still I'll go to feed upon the spendthrift Christian. Jessica, my girl, look to my house. मेरे घर का ध्यान रखना. I am right loath to go. I am right hated to go. I don't want to go. You know, there is some ill a brewing towards my rest. There is some ill a brewing. Ill a brewing, you can say ill intuition. Intuition towards my rest. There is something wrong, which I can sense, which I can feel. For because I did dream of my money bags tonight, because tonight I dreamt of my money bags. There is something wrong, there is something fishy, or there is a kind of ill intuition that I have, because I dreamt of my money bags last night. Tonight actually here means last night. Lancelot says, I beseech you, sir, go. I request you, sir. Beseech here means request. I request you, sir, go. My young master did expect your reproach. Young master here, he is referring to Bassanio, because Shylock was old, na? My young master does expect your reproach. Reproach is arrival. So actually, he doesn't want to say reproach, he has to say approach. Okay, but I told you, na, he always uses wrong words. So approach means arrival. Shylock says, so do I his. Even I expect his reproach. So actually, he used the wrong word, reproach, which literally means to scheme, to get hold of somebody. हाँ, किसी को पकड़ लेना punishment के लिए, that is reproach. He says, so do I his. Even I expect his reproach. So Shylock is talking about the literal meaning. Lancelot says, Ritisha, this meeting will get over after 5 minutes. So please join again, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Lancelot says, and they have conspired together, and they have conspired together, you can say planned. Actually, it is planned, but conspiring also means plotting. I will not say you shall see a mask, but if you do, then it was not for nothing that my nose fell a bleeding on Black Monday last at 6 o'clock in the morning. Falling out that year on Ash Wednesday was 4 year in the afternoon. Now, please understand this speech. In this speech, Lancelot, on one way, is trying to give a hint to Jessica that there will be a mask and Lorenzo will be coming over there. And at the same time, he is also trying to threaten Shylock. Okay, in a way he is informing the audience who know about the conspiracy against Shylock. And what is that conspiracy? That is her daughter's elopement. Okay, so the words have a significance of which Lancelot himself is unconscious. It is in fact a kind of dramatic irony that has been shown over here. So he says, these references that he gives. So Shylock is you know first of all, he says that he is having some kind of ill intuition. So Lancelot's speech has a comic effect because he is trying to threaten him more. वैसे ही Shylock कह रहा है कि मुझे कुछ खराब intuition आ रहा है, and now he tries to threaten him more. He says they have conspired together, they have planned together. I will not say you shall see a mask. मैं नहीं कहूंगा कि आप mask देखें, but if you do, but if you see mask, then it was not for nothing, then my nose fell a bleeding. Now, unexpected bleeding of the nose was considered an ill omen. Okay, an omen to indicate either something wonderful would happen or that misfortune would follow. So suddenly he gives an idea that but if you watch the mask, my nose fell a bleeding on Black Monday last. Now, Black Monday is Monday following Easter. Easter is the festival to celebrate resurrection of Christ. So he suddenly refers to Black Monday also. So Lancelot plays on Shylock's superstitious nature actually. ओके, द वे ही वाज फीलिंग इल इंट्यूशन, वो जानबूझ के ये सब बातें कर रहा है. नोज ब्लीडिंग, ब्लैक मंडे लास्ट एट 6 o'clock in the morning, falling out that year on Ash Wednesday. Ash Wednesday is another, the first day of Lent. On this day, people put ashes on their forehead to remind them the man was made from dust. Okay, and he shall return to dust. So, see, he is doing all this. So, in a way, it is absurd of Lancelot to talk of Easter Monday, Ash Wednesday falling at the same time. But why is he doing it? He is just doing it to threaten Shylock, nothing else. His intention is just to make fun of Shylock because Shylock has superstitious nature. The way he is saying that he dreamt of his money bags last night, and that is why there is some ill intuition he is having. So, for that only, he is just kind of playing a trick on him to mock at him, right? So as soon as Shylock comes to know that there is going to be mask, he says, "What? Are there masks? Is there mask also? Hear you me, Jessica. Jessica, मेरी बात सुनो. Lock up my door. सारे दरवाजे बंद कर देना. And when you hear the drum and the wild squealing of the wry-necked fifey, drum and because they used to celebrate, तो वो drum बजाते थे. Fifey is a flute, you can say. So if you hear this drum and while means unpleasant squeaking of a fifey, wry-necked fifey. Wry-necked means small-necked fifey. Clamber not you up. Clamber means climb not you up to the casements. Casements means windows. Don't climb to the windows then, nor thrust your head into the public street. And at the same time, don't thrust your head, don't stretch your neck into the public street to gaze, to look on Christian fools with varnished faces. Varnished faces means painted or masked faces. Okay, बट स्टॉप माई हाउसेज ईयर्स, आई मीन माई केसमेंट्स. तो अगर तुम्हें कुछ ऐसा सुनाई दे, तो ये ड्रम सुनाई दे या फाइफी की आवाज सुनाई दे, यू शुड नॉट क्लाइंब द विंडोज एंड यू शुड नॉट लेट दैट साउंड एंटर माई होली house. Okay, rather you should stop my house's ears, means you should close all the windows. Let not the sound of shallow foppery enter my sober house. I do not want the sound of shallow foppery. Shallow foppery means stupidity. Foppery is stupidity. Uh, Enter my sober house. Sober is peaceful house. I do not want the peace to be disturbed by that stupidity. By Jacob's staff, I swear I have no mind of feasting forth tonight. He says by Jacob's staff, he swears by Jacob's staff that I have no mind, no intention, no inclination, not intention, inclination of feasting forth tonight, away from home. Forth here means away from home. I do not want to go away from home tonight, but I will go, but I will have to go. Then there is a long pause. Go you before me, Sirrah. Sir, you go before me. Say, I will come, and tell them that I will come. Launcelot says, I will go before, sir. And then aside to Jessica, वो धीरे से Jessica से बोलता है, Mistress, look out at window for all this. You must look out at window for all this. For all this means in spite of all these instructions. Okay? In spite of these instructions which have been given to her by her father. There will come a Christian by, will be worth a Jewess's eye. There will be a Christian, he is actually referring to Lorenzo, who will be worth Jewess's eye. Who is the Jewess's? That is Jessica herself, who will be worth looking at. Shylock says, what says that fool of Hagar's offspring? Huh? And then he exits from there. But when he was speaking to Jessica, Shylock must have seen him, and that is why he asked, what says that fool of Hagar's offspring? So, in a way, he is abusing him. uh, Jessica says, his words are farewell, mistress, nothing else. He only said farewell, mistress. Shylock says, the patch is kind enough. The patch here means fool, actually. The fool is kind enough, but a huge feeder. But a huge feeder, he eats a lot. All right. Snail slow in profit. He is as slow as a snail in profit. Profit means work. In work, he is very slow, like a snail, and he sleeps by day more than the wild cat, and he sleeps by day more than the wild cat, because wild cat is supposed to be sleeping throughout the day. Drones hive not with me, and such drones means idlers, who are idle people, such lazy people hive not with me, they cannot live with me. Okay, therefore I part with him, and with him to one that I would help him have to waste. Waste means spend his borrowed purse. He says, that's why I part with him. That's why I sent him away. Part with him means I sent him away. And I sent him away to a person who whom he would help to spend his borrowed purse. Now, whose borrowed purse it is? Bassanio, because Bassanio has borrowed money from Shylock. Well, Jessica, go in, go inside. Perhaps I will return immediately. Do as I bid you. Do as I asked you to do. Shut doors after you. Fast bind, fast find. A proverb never stale in thrifty mind. Fast bind, fast find. If you lock thing up, you will find it safe. Okay, this is a proverb. If you lock things, you will find them safe. So, this is a proverb which is never stale, which is never old, okay, in thrifty mind, in a careful, to a careful person, this proverb never becomes old. Jessica says farewell, and then he exits from there. So after him, Jessica says farewell, and if my fortune be not crossed, means if nothing goes wrong, I have a father, you a daughter lost. If nothing goes wrong, and if I am successful in my planning, then I will lose a father and you will lose a daughter.